swear to God, P, if you talk again tonight about that crazy dab, slab, slosh all over my face, man, I'll go crazy.
No. His name's Bob Herzog. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Yep, we are live now, so, you know, this is entertaining, and and my sticker fell off my camera.
Do you think we'll ever get it right?
No, I don't think so. Welcome to the show with no name. Nat and Pauline here tonight. We are so excited to have you guys there. For those who have jumped on the replay, thank you. Hello. We know a lot of people watch us on Thursday. Thank you guys for joining us because it makes our week. I love it.
Totally makes the week.
We're kind of excited tonight because we've got lots going on. First off, Nat's going to take us through imperfect action. And then we're going to dive into winter blues, especially if you're working from home. We're moving into winter and it's going to get a little bit hair-raising. So we're going to talk about things that you can do so you don't feel so claustrophobic. Also, I'm really excited because we have an awesome guest. We have Will Fleming from Rad Dads. I know that, but I was just... So, let's get started.
And we're back. I just thought it would be really cool to go Rad Dads when you did it. I wanted to be like in sync. That's why I did it. I was like waiting for you and I went, Rad Dads with you. So
well, that's the way I planned it, so that you would say it. So, you know, it was all part of the plan.
Part of the plan.
So, Nat, how was your week? I mean, it's been another week. These weeks, like, roll around really quickly. We get to Tuesday and we're like, whoa, tomorrow's Wednesday. You know.
I just want to start out, Pete, actually, that I think you're looking really, really nice tonight.
Aww,
I know. I wanted to not compliment you since you hopped in the car and I picked you up because I wanted to save it up because I was like, when you walked out of the house tonight, I was like, damn, girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
well,
you couldn't
nice. She couldn't actually say anything because I was stuck on the phone.
Yeah, you're stuck on the phone.
For
but
like
you do look
20
really
minutes.
so black. Like, you know, like I love black.
Yeah.
And you look really nice in black.
Yeah, no, well,
So
I think
I
it
thought
looks
you looked really
good
nice
with the fact that I got pink hair. So,
Yeah.
now that it's like bright pink and purple.
Can I accessorize with your hair?
I have to say my hair looks pretty cool. I am so in love with my hair.
Like, okay, hang on, your head's getting so big, it's pushing me out of the way. Well,
I like really love my hair. Like, sometimes I just look at them and go, oh yeah, look at that.
I really like
Okay,
how
let's
you can
move on.
take a compliment.
Yeah, thanks for the compliment too, but I really love my hair. But yeah, no, I feel very nice today. It's been a pretty good day, so.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I love this top.
I have to say that I find the middle of the week, so I get to a Wednesday, so you know how we like finish our show on a Wednesday, and then we get to like Friday, I think, oh, the show's, you know, still another, 5 days away, heaps of time.
Yeah.
I definitely get to a Wednesday, the middle of the week, and I, my energy does sit lower on a Wednesday, I have to say.
Yeah.
And remember I said to you, you suddenly think, how the fudge are we going to get through another show?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 6 o'clock, boom, back. I feel the energy come back. It's very cool. But that's because you have to look after yourself,
Nat,
right?
you don't appear to not have energy when I see you. Like, you're like, let's go. Yeah. I mean, Wednesday's a hard day, you know.
Yeah,
You've had
hump day.
Yeah, hump day. So, yeah,
Get
crazy.
the hump.
So your week's been good then?
My week's been amazing.
Yeah.
So let's just, this actually can roll into our winter blues, right? Because I actually put this in our show notes to talk about winter. And you're like, you might be watching the show and going, shut up, Nat, we're still in summer. Yeah. I know it is because it's fucking hot in the studio per usual.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to talk about autumn and winter coming up. So P actually said something really interesting for me is that naturally I'm an energetic person.
Yeah.
I'm actually that annoying friend who's consistently self-motivated. Like, I'm self-motivated in lots and lots of areas, work and exercise and lots of stuff. However, that actually breeds a lot of comfort, being that consistent, believe it or not. So, for me last winter, it's my second winter working from home, I actually got really lonely. I'm a people person. And I was like, I need people.
Yeah.
So this week, I moved into some new office space. in Ori with some very cool people who I really admire. They have an amazingly successful business, and they were looking to open up some of their office space, and I was like, I am so in.
Yeah.
So I've moved out of my office. My 2 girls have now got a room each, and I get kind of like go into the office, and I'm highly productive anyway, but it's really changed my productivity levels.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So that's
good to
been
know.
my week.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because this year will be, I'll move in and I'll be fully at home. Last year, I would jump into a few of my clients' office, so I'd spend a lot more time, but this year I'm moving more working from home and consulting, so I don't need to be in their offices, so I'm interested to see, and I definitely, like today, I had to stop work and leave the house, because I realised I hadn't left the house for 5 days.
Oh.
So I'd been working, I'm working on a big project at the moment, and an overseas project, and I can't sort of get out and about. And yeah, about 1 o'clock I was like, I gotta go, I gotta do something. So I went to Oliver's and cracked out some work at Oliver's, which was great because I got a muffin and a gluten-free one.
I like how you added, hey yo, half the people watching, it was a gluten.
I know, it was a gluten-free one and had a coffee.
And you chased it with a salad.
No, that's all I had. So had a coffee and waited for my son to turn up. So he turned up, and then
I've just lost my mouse on the. Even though, believe it or not, guys, we actually, while we're running the show, we actually have to technically do some stuff, and I've just lost my mouse on the thing. So I'm actually not being socially rude. I'm just become.
PCs. So that's interesting. So Winter Blues.
I might need Angie to come over.
You know, Nat, you really are an expert in this sort. Working from home. So it's over there somewhere. So
okay, thank you.
There it is. So how do you combat it? I mean, I'm envisioning, organising appointments away from home, so you're getting out. Like our morning breakfast, we didn't do it this week, but actually that's one of my highlights of the week, actually.
Oh,
and
that's
I realised,
nice.
well, it's because, I don't have morning, it's a good setup for the day, really. We sort of catch up, have a quick brainstorm, and it actually sets me up for the day. And the fact that we didn't do it this week, I feel like, the last few weeks I've been so busy, it feels like a bit like I've been in this thing, and I can't wait to get out.
I think for me, routine really works really well for me as it comes to autumn and winter. And I think, the social media can often give us that stress of this is how you should be running your day. I think that, it doesn't matter how you structure your day, just as long as it's doing it in your own way. So if you're not a morning person, don't push to try and get up and do it in the morning. Like I actually don't start my day until 10 o'clock. So pre that, I'm with the kids, I'm having my exercise, I might be probably eating, and then I get into day production. And then I love to work at night, and I know that some people do, whereas some people are very structured the other way. So definitely for winter coming up, actually have a look at, what was last year like for you? What can you start implementing now? Could you have some, Jodie Jealous actually brought this whole concept around was get shit done days. Could you get some fellow workmates around over to your house, and you can get, have some days where you hang out together.
Yeah, I think that's really a good idea. I mean, one of the things that I do is I break up the day into little different sections of time. So I will, at 10 o'clock, I have a coffee break, and I'll go and move myself to another area. So I move, and then in the afternoon, between 4 and, because I work late in the night because of the time difference with a few of my clients. So between 4 and 5:30, I take a really good break. So I'll go water the plants, make my bed, do my washing. So I sort of do the sort of housework stuff, and then, do the groceries if I need to do groceries and that sort of stuff. So I do it between that 4 and 5:30.
Yeah.
And then about, 7:30 I get back into work for a few hours. So that's how I sort of do it.
I think the cool thing about winter is around autumn or the colder months coming up is that you actually get to nutritionally feed your body really differently. Like turmeric lattes and broths and soups. Like you get to really nurture yourself, and I know that really helps with my energy is making sure that you are sleeping, getting enough sleep. I mean, it should happen anyway, but I think particularly in winter, especially when there's a lot of, germs and stuff out there. Germy gyms.
Yes,
Germy
looking
gyms.
after yourself in winter is going to be important because those flus. So hopefully that helps you. I can tell you probably after winter how I coped, because this is going to be the first
This is your
time.
first winter.
This is my first winter fully at home, unless I decide I can't cope with that, and I'll change it and maybe work out. I mean, I've got options. I can work out of my clients' offices if I want to, but I don't think I want to.
How do we get the overstayer in our office out?
Yeah.
Security.
It probably is that. They can't wait to get rid of me. So, Nat, we're going to move into our next subject. You were going to talk to us about imperfect action and what is it. So, over to you.
And actually, before we jump into that, it'd be really cool if you guys have any tips of how you look after yourself working from home or just in business. Like, if you've got staff, how do you keep them up and running? How do you keep yourself, not going into hibernation mode and, just going and lying on the couch with a duvet instead of getting out and doing work. So this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to be doing a PowerPoint with you to talk about imperfect action, just to kind of mix the show up a little bit, because I know that some of you watch the show and just wanted to try a different medium. So, Andy, I'm just going to...
Do we know how to do this?
Yeah, so, Andy, I'm just clicking up onto my thing. Hey, my thing. This is how technical we are here. Do my thing.
Is it working? Don't you have to pull the screen to that screen?
Yeah, now you've got to start your PowerPoint. Start from the first slide.
Yeah, I have. It's ready to go.
What you've got to do it because I've got Will on the screen.
Oh, he's Will on the screen.
Yeah, so whatever you see there is what's going on.
Oh, so everyone sees Will.
Oh, here we go.
there
There
you
you
go.
go. There's no Will. Will, you're out of here, mate.
I don't take it over, just that one.
What?
That's the PowerPoint. Carry on. Do it.
Okay. Here, this is how technical we are, team. Thank you for holding the... Thanks, callers. Okay, so this is one of my favourite subjects. And so for those of you who do follow me, I'm a business coach who helps female entrepreneurs take imperfect action to increase their sales. Because imperfect action will really drive your intuition, which helps you keep taking action and keeps helping you stay consistent. So this is one of the things I love to talk about. So as we go through this slideshow tonight, there's a lot of practical ways in which you can take imperfect action. As much as I love talking about energy and I call it feminine energy, it's really nice to have practical stuff happening too. So how to take imperfect action. I just warn you, the slide after this one, I kind of edited it out because I wasn't sure about what your audience was like with me swearing all the time. So I've kind of edited it out a bit. But for me, one area that you need to master before you can actually make consistent money, this is a really big thing with consistent action, is to get the fuck over yourself.
I think my audience would be okay with that.
And actually, I put this post up on my page today because from the very beginning of my business, I made sure that and I do it even now, as I put myself in environments and in situations that make me have to grow really, really fast. So going to networking events, before I even knew what I did, I had no elevator pitch. I wasn't really sure what I did. I just knew that I didn't want to be in my corporate job. So, I would go to corporate events and just be like, oh yeah, so I'm Nat. And I would just be really open and honest about what I did. And it felt fucking uncomfortable, but it helps you really understand who you are as a person. It confronts you really quickly about all your self-belief and all this mindset that comes up. Because if you don't start to get over yourself, it doesn't matter what strategies put in front of you. And I've been given incredible strategies and have incredible mentors around me. And when I first was given amazing strategies, the mindset tripped me up. I couldn't get over myself, and so that's what I went back to. So I'm always teaching mindset over strategy. So for imperfect action to work, you actually need to get the fuck over yourself, because one of the fundamental differences between you and someone else is they're actually just doing it.
Yeah.
Someone else is actually just going, you know what? If not me, then who else? and just believing in themselves. Now, I'm not talking about like, you know, one of those TV shows where, you know, they go and they sing, and it's obviously their mum's gone, you're amazing, and they go sing in front of all those people, and you're like, whoever told you that you could sing needs, like, you know, you've got to actually be good at what you're trying to get out to do. Anyway, shut up now. Okay, the reality is, I'm all cliches, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay, it's cliche, but it's really, really valid. Often when you go out into business, in your head you have exactly how you want it to look. So you've got the idea, you've got the bigger vision of how you want it to look, but the reality is you have to start at number one. You have to start at the version 1. So often I'll come across women who are trying to, they don't want to have the journey, the business journey. And business is the biggest personal development you're ever going to have. And you can't fast track your journey. You can only just kind of like hop into that roller coaster and enjoy the ride. So it's amazing to have a vision. So let's just take it on a practical level. For example, let's think of a bodybuilder, bikini model, and you think, yeah, I want to be on stage and look like that.
I want to be a bikini model.
Okay, so the reality is, right? The reality is, the reality is...
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen overnight. Okay. The producers love it, it's good. It's not going to happen overnight. And I know that, like, we know that. But actually, in our businesses, we take that kind of stuff and we beat ourselves up. Oh, it's not working. I've been doing it for 3 months. Well, you're going to have to frickin' probably do it for another 2 years. So get on with it. So that's the reality. And this is where imperfect action helps you, is because you have to start. You have to start the journey. And a lot of women come to me and go, I don't know how to start because this is the vision I want, something's not working, I'm not the expert yet, I don't have the qualifications, and it's like, well, actually those are excuses. So what if you asked yourself, what if you did know? What if I did know? What if I did know how to tackle this, how to start, how to, head towards my vision? So you can ask yourself these questions. How would I start? But most importantly, what does version 1 look like? Okay, I want to be a bikini model. We're going to use P. She wants to be a bikini model.
That's right.
Okay, so what does version 1 of getting on stage actually look like? Like version 1 would be like, I'm going to go to the gym and stick to a 3-month nutrition and exercise plan, right? That's version 1. Fucking version 1 isn't going on stage and being the bikini model because you're going to fall really fast. And there's some people who can do that. But I think reality is you got to go for version 1. Imperfect action means doing it in your way to get the end result. So this is something really important. There's a lot of shoulds and this is how you're supposed to do it and do it this way, stand like this and cookie cutters, right? But you need to be doing it from your own energy, from your own intuition, from your own confidence. Because otherwise stuff just takes longer to come about. So you can take something that works, but you've got to put your essence around it so that you can get to that end result. So factually, and in a linear version, you have step 1, and then you go to step 10, right? Okay, you all understand that conceptually. But what happens in business is that it goes 1, 2, minus 10, minus 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, minus 100. You know, like that. That's the actual reality. It doesn't happen in a linear cut way. So understanding and committing and acknowledging that the only way to increase your sales and have the money that you want and the freedom in the business that you want is it's going to happen imperfectly. And as perfectionists and high achievers and people with lots of ideas, the sooner you embrace this and always look for the way through, you're going to get that momentum and that consistency. So this is just what it looks like, right? I know this is another cliche image that we often always see. It's true, right?
Totally true. That's how business goes.
But it's acceptance this is how it's going to be. So you must keep moving through and taking a step further and
being okay with it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And being consistent about it.
Yeah. Consistency is the key.
Consistency. And it's actually one thing I know that I am kick ass at is being consistent, right? My shit's never perfect. Half the time I'm selling you stuff that I haven't even built, but it's actually a value of mine that I run my business off. That I'm going to say, hey, this is conceptually what I want to be sharing with you. Come and do it with me. And I'm going to be building it probably a week ahead of you so that you're getting an energetically built program based on exactly what you're doing. And half the time, if I waited for everything to be perfect, I tell you what, I wouldn't even have started my business. So take it from me, the sooner you get into the imperfect action train. Hey, and I don't own imperfect action like a lot of amazing gurus are imperfect action, but I'd like to say that I'm probably known for it mostly in New Zealand about imperfect action. That's quite a wanky thing for me to say, but okay, so we're going to do a little bit of hows. You guys are going to do a little bit of work. I want you to think about, well, okay, Nat, but how do I take imperfect action? I want you to think about a project that you have at the moment, a project, an idea that is not finished.
Tiny house?
No, get out. No tiny house. You're not allowed a tiny house. Carla and I told you. Okay,
I've talked Carla
think
around.
about a project that's not finished. And
a work project.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're a business show, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No tiny houses.
Okay, so a work project. So I want you to acknowledge what's really going on, right? So it's probably not finished for a particular reason. And usually it will be a feeling. So fear, worry, or self-doubt. Have a think about something that's not moving ahead how you want it to be. You know, you're not quite where you want something to be. And then think to yourself, well, is what I'm fearing or worrying about or procrastinating about or doubting about, is it actually logically true? So, sometimes it'll be yes, sometimes it'll be, well, actually it's not true. You're telling yourself some bullshit. Either way, have a think in your head, is it logically true? And number 3, does it matter enough to stop me doing what I'm here to do? Now, most of the time, 100% of the time, it doesn't matter enough to stop you doing what you're here to do. Because if you actually know what you're here to do, nothing's going to stop you. And it's just about finding that way through. So ask yourself, how can I start or how can I keep moving to get it done? So acknowledge, awareness of the feeling. Is it logically true, yes or no? And if it is a yes, it's true, well, does it matter enough? And it probably doesn't matter enough. And that's probably one of the things that I'm also have learnt in my business has helped me propel so fast, is to not spend time with these feelings for long. Acknowledge them, but then get back on the train, the imperfect train, to keep going. So I just want you to see imperfect action in real life, and this is just a snippet that a client sent me a little while ago. So the last couple of months have been super quiet for my business, and I've been feeling held back because I'm working on a very skinny shoestring, and I felt like I didn't have what I needed to push through this patch of desert. So I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm feeling stuck. When I think of your imperfect action mantra, and I think, what the heck, I just need to do it. So I sat then and I pulled out my calendar, locked in some dates, made a flyer, posted it on Facebook before I had a chance to doubt myself, and check it out. Massive engagement, huge buy-in, and lots of bookings already. Boom, boom, boom. That is imperfect action in a nutshell. Yeah. So she could have just sat in her shit and sat and been held back, and it doesn't look like this, and I don't have the money, or she could have just taken some action. Imperfect action, and this is the results you can get.
That's brilliant.
This is why I love imperfect action. This is why I love mindset over strategy. And that's all, folks.
That was great.
Thanks, pal. Thanks for listening to me going, blah, 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 and then you get like passionate and all that cool stuff, and now I can't get this off. Brilliant.
So those who have joined us on the live, I know we're competing with some pretty hot TV programs, but if you are live, jump in and say hello. Nat is going to just close down the whole page.
Oh, yes, thank you.
See the little... So why...
Oh, I pushed something.
Okay, we've got technical issues, but just let's have the camera on me, shall we? And let's talk about me. So I'm going to, while Nat's doing that, talk about our guests. We've got 2 guests coming on, I believe. Both of them are...
Sorry, babe.
Both of them are amazing. You might have seen them on a lot of TV shows. They've been, well, a lot of TV shows, but they've been on so much normal media. Like, I see these boys everywhere. I'm a little disappointed tonight that they're not wearing their famous denim.
Who are these boys?
They do have some denim clothes. So let me introduce. Yeah. So just before we bring them on, I'm going to invite Will and Greg. Now, both of them are lecturers at MIT, but they have been doing this really cool movement called Rad Dads. I'm going to call it a movement because it's about empowering fathers. And what's really cool is they do a show every week, and they're all on Facebook about empowering fathers to be great fathers. Because we're going to talk about this when I introduce them on. Are they on?
Hey, dads. Hey, Rad Dads.
So we can see you. We can hear you.
Hopefully you guys can see more than our nostrils.
It's awesome. Look, I love the fact that you're trying to keep the ship together. You have technical issues. This is the world we live in now. And
I know.
Every single second live, it makes it awesome. And thank you for having us on your awesome show.
It is an absolute pleasure to be here tonight.
Yay, I'm so excited.
I mean, so far you guys have been so high maintenance. You have demanded like a trailer and like some special drinks. Like, come on.
I know. I mean, I didn't know you didn't have water from Lake Penetonka. I mean, come on.
What kind of unreasonable person puts us
I
in
know,
there?
right? It's like, do you know who we've interviewed?
Yeah, exactly. Let's not go there. Come on, boys. So I'm really interested, and I know our audience will be interested about the whole Rad Dads movement. Like, how did it come about? Where did you start it? I mean, I know it's been kind of a passion project for you, Will. Obviously, I know Will from our business circles, I guess, and it's been a joy to watch you grow from the beginning to now, and how you've sort of almost taking the world by storm from me watching on social from far away. Do you know what I mean? Like when you watch stuff and you come up in the feed and you're like, how did he get to interview him? Like, what?
Look, I do the same to you. You know, you come up in my feed and I'm like, you got some live stream show, you got a studio. I'm in a man cave, aka a laundry.
Yeah, but
And
that
Looks good.
But that fits the brand, right? That totally fits the
Smoke
brand.
and mirrors. Look, I'll hand over to Greg because he articulates Rad Dads really well, but
Okay.
I guess what I'll say is we just, I guess for me and Greg, it was like, who's celebrating just the normal guys who aren't out there being some big dorks and no one...
You.
Yeah, thank you. It's like not all of us, you know, are weirdos. I mean, we're pretty weird in our own way, but it's like, I just want to go to work, be a good husband, try and be a good human. And it's like, where's my spot? So
Yeah,
take
nice.
that.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that right back in the day, we started with wanting to capture some of our thoughts for our own kids, and that very quickly evolved into content on a regular basis. We were interviewing dads of some profile in the back of a truck that Mazda had given us, and so we'd sort of pop up and take people through drive-thrus, and it was all very awkward and weird. But we did it, and it was an evolutionary thing. But we live by a very simple mantra that there is the right way, there's the wrong way, and then there's the dad way, which is some sort of incarnation of both right and wrong, depending on whatever that you're trying to do. And like Will said, for us, it's a celebration of the every dad. There's the guys in the media for all the wrong reasons. There's the guys that are in the media and are really unattainable. And then there's the guys in the middle that get up every day, put 2 feet on the ground, and just try and do the right thing.
Oh, that's amazing.
And both Will and I come from backgrounds where we've worked in jobs where it's quite stratified. Is it a word?
Roll with it. Sounds good.
Way to go.
Yeah. And so the one thing that whether you're the cleaner or the CEO, that crappy night's sleep that you got because your kid kept you up all night is the one thing that levels both those guys onto exactly the same playing field. And for us, it was just a really natural launching point to have a conversation around and to say, actually, you know what? And as different as we all are, it's kind of the one thing that makes us all the same. And so from there, we tried a bunch of different things.
And we still are. Trying.
And it was really interesting, just listening to the tail end of what you were talking about earlier. And it's that idea, you just have to get in the game and you have to start trying and develop relationships failure. There are options that have worked. I mean, there's an equally twice as long, 3 times as long. But we've got to any of the success, we not have with 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times, And that's really been the journey for us.
Did we drop out?
Yep. We were trying to keep poker faces, but like that. At the same time thinking,
no,
what the
we heard
fuck
you,
did
but
I
you
say?
guys just stayed still for a second. It was like. So that's a really interesting beginning, and I love the fact that you've interviewed people who are in the media for other reasons, but people don't actually see the behind the scenes. How do they, they may be, give me an example. Who have you interviewed that you've thought to yourself, holy crap, we've just interviewed this person? Who was that?
I guess we have to go with the former Prime Minister, Bill English. Now, he's not everyone's cup of tea, but when the opportunity comes up for 2 everyday regular Joes to go into Prime Minister, you do not say no to that opportunity.
Let's just walk you through the day for a second, just because it was one of those days that was incredibly curious and weird. And again, political leanings aside, I ride a scooter as a way of keeping one nice car in the family for my family to drive. I take the hit to get wet during winter. And it was winter that we happened to interview Bill English, and I rode in the pouring rain, got soaking wet. I had nowhere to get changed except for the bathroom at Countdown. I didn't even know Countdown had bathrooms until I went looking for somebody to get changed because I was so wet. Tried to get myself into some sort of regular, normal shape to meet the leader of our country. We go up to the 9th floor of a building, and it's if you can imagine, an empty floor plate where the mafia would probably kill somebody. There's 3 lights in one corner and 3 chairs. And it really did look like our hit was about to go down.
It's true. Greg walked over. I was there a bit early. I'd set up water, and Greg knocked the Prime Minister's cup over. So not only was he wet, he made the whole floor wet. And then we had like 4 minutes. The DPS came up and said, you guys stand still. They looked at us and they said, all right, we're good to go, bring him in. And then Bill, as we like to call him now, came up to us and said, so what's this about? And we're at each other, and we're like, oh, we just want to talk to you about being a dad. And he was like, love it.
And it was really, really interesting seeing, even at that level, almost the sigh of relief where he just went, someone's not going to interrogate me on the ins and outs of a particular policy that we have got right or wrong this week. They just want to talk about me and my kids. And
awesome.
so that was really, really cool. I mean, shucks, we've had so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, we've probably spoken to probably 10 or 12 high-profile dads and another, 15 or 20 what I would like to call just dads like us, dads who we try and celebrate. The other weekend we spoke to the guy who is the CEO for Big Buddy New Zealand, and that's the organisation for kids without dads. And so this is where this whole Rad Dads thing is going. It's like, we're not just saying you have to be a dad. I mean, we understand that there's some people without fathers. We understand there's, mothers without dads. Yeah, that's right. And look, there's a lot of puzzles to try and make this whole thing work. For Greg and I guess it's just about saying, when you make internet content, it asks you to ask yourself, what do you want to do with your time and what are you passionate about? And it's something most of us don't cover, that question. We just think, I'll make stuff for the online and hope it goes viral. But for us, it's like, well, what do we know? We know fatherhood, we know family, we know stress, we know how to work, and let's make content about that. And so whenever someone says, I should do some dad stuff, I'm like, well, yeah, if you want to, but you might really like toy trains, make your shows about that. And you guys know this, no one gets paid for this stuff, and it's all hard and technical problems, and
what do you mean I'm not getting paid for this, Pete? You told me I was going to get paid.
It's all full love.
We're just bringing it up.
I love what you guys are talking about, and this is probably and I have to say this is the first time that I've met you guys as a Rad Dads. Well, you and I go way back. no, we don't. We've met once. But, you know, like, what I love about both of you is this, it's the down-to-earthness, which is really amazing, and that authenticness, which, like you just said, you're just being actually just real. And I just love the imperfect way in which this has come about, isn't it right? That it's never the right time. Like when you get pregnant, shit, wasn't ready for that. And when you're going to give birth, well, there's not a right time either, right? So like you just said, you got to get out there and get in the game. And I love what you guys are doing.
I currently have about a dozen boxes, a fridge, and some beds at my old house. My 4 children and most of my belongings are at the other house tonight. We're kind of in the middle of that process. You talk about it's never the right time. It isn't the right time. And that's not a hey, yeah, me. That's just a statement of fact that says, you know, on any given day, it's never going to be the right time to put yourself out there. It's never going to be the right time to get it right. But I love that truth that in our pocket we have a camera, we have a way to connect with the internet, we have a way to edit our video, and so it is. What is the excuse? And I'll be the first to admit, I mean, without this guy here, that's an incredibly confronting thing.
Yes.
Incredibly confronting thing that you go, actually, I'm all out of excuses, so if we don't produce, it's on me. But I think there's a real freedom in coming and stepping up to that challenge and seeing what's on the other side.
And the world's asking for it. Exactly what all 4 of us are doing right now, or 5 or 6 plus your little crew. I don't have crew, I just have a G-string on the line hanging, a light. Carrying on. It's not my G-string.
I'm actually really pleased you clarified that well.
Who the hell's G-string is that? No, there was something around the idea of, like, the world's demanding content that is exactly what we're all doing. I sat down and watched my kids watching YouTube the other day, and they were watching, we all know who he is, PewDiePie. I said, man, what do you find interesting about that guy? You've got the internet at your fingertips. You could look for Tom Cruise's, you know, top 10 chase scenes. And I said, Dad, he talks to us. And I'm like, oh, so it's as simple as that.
Wow.
You know, pick your thing, talk to someone. If they find it relevant, they'll subscribe to you, they'll follow you. And I love that.
I think also with it, though, there isn't, I guess there is, and we're finding out, as Will like to say, as Will likes to say, we're live in real time. But there's an art to being authentic as well. And that I think that often authenticity gets mistaken for what's an all, this is me.
Yeah, totally.
Kind of thing. And in reality, I don't think your 2018 digital consumer necessarily wants a warts and all experience. They want a genuine, authentic experience. Yeah. And I think as content creators and producers, it's up to us to be able to navigate our way through what that looks like. That doesn't mean that there isn't a craft of storytelling, a craft of production, a craft of understanding your audience that needs to be developed and fine-tuned every time you put something out there. But it needs to be whatever people experience within the particular landscape that you're producing. They need to know that that's exactly the same person they're going to meet in the street. So,
yes, totally.
You know, authenticity isn't an excuse to be lazy in the way that we produce. And I think it's just really important that we get that out there right from the outset. You know, we've all said it, it's hard, and you got to practice, and you do have to get better at it.
Well, we're taking baby steps. We're like, in the world of authentic content, we're like in 1930s television. That's where we've got a long way to go before there's Netflix in that world. And I'm so happy and humbled and honoured that we all get to do this. You know, it's like, it's pretty cool. Effectively, there's some cameras and internet connection, and we can do this.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and it's like consistent. You guys have got a consistent show as well. You're doing a weekly show just like us. I mean, I tune in and watched your last show, which was really good. So I think it's that consistency, and what you guys are really good at, and what I love, is the fact that you're creative in your ideas. I mean, some of the things I've seen you guys do, like, well, the whole rugby ball and the, you know, dropping it from the sky. I mean, what was that?
Well, it's still a healing wound. So the idea was to break. It was two dads breaking a Guinness World Record, and we thought it would be an awesome idea to fly to 108 meters, which is the current world record, in a helicopter, and throw a rugby ball out, and I would catch it on the ground.
Oh, wow.
And look, we had about 50 goes at it. We managed to wrangle money from a company called Power Shop, who paid and believed in us, and we eyeballed them and said, there's a 95% chance this doesn't happen. And let me tell you why that's awesome, that you will lose your money that way. Because that's like parenting. You know, most of the time, things don't go right.
Yeah.
It's when they do go right and you get that, is it diamond in the rough? That's when, you can really, that's when it means something. If it all went right for us, so what's the point, No one likes winning when it's easy.
And the thing, right from the outset, we like to acknowledge that was the first of our impossible questions. Like, I literally kid you not, the entire thing started out, Will and I, in our day jobs, and at that point in time, we actually were in offices adjacent to each other. And Will stuck his head in and he said, "Do you reckon we could do a Guinness World Record?" And I said, "Well, what would you do?" He said, "I reckon I could catch a rugby ball." You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. How do we do it? We probably need a helicopter. Or two. Wouldn't it be funny if we could, get some people to help us make that happen? Yeah, man, that'd be flipping hilarious, wouldn't it? And then, in that moment, there was a cognitive decision that had to be made. Were we going to simply let it slide, or were we going to be ballsy enough to go actually ask the first question? And again, it just so happened that Power Shop were up for having us down to Wellington to talk to some of their dads. It was like the parting of the Red Sea. The opportunity came out in front of us. It was time and place. We're sitting down with the marketing manager, marketing director, whatever his title is. Tom, please forgive me. And we just, Will saw the opportunity, jumped right in and said, "We've got this ridiculous idea, but we think you might be into it." And I think we actually learned a huge amount in that moment, where we had to be prepared to back ourselves. And as soon as it was, we had to be prepared to go, you know what? We're not going to know unless we get it out there. We're not going to know unless we ask the question. And trust me when I say it was the most surreal feeling arriving at the heliport the day of, walking out onto the helipad, and we've got Crowd Goes Wild, the crew from Crowd Goes Wild there with us. We've got the team from Breakfast.
That's so
We've got
cool.
three helicopters as the sun comes up. And it was something that I think possibly got missed in the prologue, was at that stage, as far as Will and I were concerned, we'd won. We'd won the second that we woke up that morning, because we went, holy crap, if this is not exactly what we wanted to be saying to fathers, not only in New Zealand over, but the world over, in terms of taking risks, this is exactly it. Now, once we're up there and the helicopter's up and we're catching balls, anything after that's just an absolute bonus and it's icing on the cake.
Man, I love what you guys stand for. I'm seriously just sitting with the stupidest grin on my face, just going, you guys are just the epitome of the imperfect action. I've just given it a bloody go.
And we should do in New Zealand. Our country is built on that. It's like, give it a go.
So I'd love to know, what do you guys, if you had to stand for 5 things, and if I was get on your soapbox, what are 5 things you stand for in terms of, what do you repeat? What are you just you guys repetitive messages, and what are you some I don't know, what do you call them, core values? However they
We've got
come
3.
out.
Yeah,
Oh, sweet.
we've distilled the 5 into 3.
Okay, cool.
It's very simple, very, very simple, and we think it's time-honored advice for us and our own families, and we think it probably could do some good in some of the other families.
And it's so hard to follow. I break it every day.
Number one, listen.
I can't do it.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
So hard to do.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear that.
First thing is listen. Look, we, especially as fathers, and also as males, are predisposed to want to offer advice first. Number one piece of advice: learn to listen. Listen first. Listen hard. listen to yourself, listen to your partner, listen to your kids. Second of all, act, because we're solely judged on our actions, not what we talk about what we're going to do, what we actually do.
Yeah, nice.
So listen, act, and then once, and only once those two things have been exhausted, then do you speak, and speak with intent, speak with authority, and speak with love and care for the people that you're communicating with. If you can do those three things in that order, then you're hopefully well down a path to being able to win whatever the battle is that you're facing for the day.
You know how you guys love taking risks? Are you guys up for a challenge right now?
Absolutely.
Look at your face, you're like, Okay, so I love your 3 values. I think they're amazing, and as a mother and as a female, I'm going to take them on because maybe women need to listen too. I'm just saying, you heard that here first. But I'd love for you guys to do a rap with your 3 values. Rap it out. Rap it.
Oh, we'll be good at this. Will's a good rapper.
All right, can we have like a 10-second interlude just to...
1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4.
Yeah. No. We'll talk amongst ourselves. So what?
Listen.
He doesn't even know. He can't remember what his 3 things are. Hang on. We'll give you a few seconds, and I just want to talk about your 3 things. So what the boys have said is listen. Oh, what is this?
Listen, act.
Listen, act,
And speak with intent.
and speak with intent. That is pivotal across everything.
That's
like
incredible.
as a wife, as a mother, as a business owner, someone with staff. You know, it's just not just. I love that. I mean, that should be like the motto for everything.
I just love what these boys are here to stand for. I just how
love-
cool.
You know, I love Will. I've loved
but
Will
just
for a long time.
But just how like the whole show tonight, like, you know, like I knew the boys were going to come on and be rad dads, but just after what we were talking about, and then it's been an awesome evening, team.
Yeah, I
Are
mean,
you ready?
Oh.
You shook 'em ready.
We're not ready. We're just listening to you.
oh, stop listening to us.
Okay, you're on.
We're going. Here we go. Yo, what up? We're Rad Dads. Sometimes said it don't matter, cause now we're here with the ladies on the other side of the internet. That doesn't rhyme, but it don't matter, cause we're live.
We're live.
You guys are awesome. I was sitting there going, man, I reckon these guys would rap if I asked them. Hey, well done, taking risks, having fun, right? It's about having fun, letting go about what we're attached to, what do people think about me. People are judging us anyway, so we might as well just have goddamn fun while we're doing it, right?
That's right.
This is true. This is
So,
absolutely-
you know, boys, going forward, I mean, you know, I know that, you know, everything that you've done is very ideas focused. You know, you guys come up with an idea and move forward, but what is the next 6 months, 8 months look like for you and Rad Dads? What are we going to expect? You know, what sort of messages are you trying to get across to everyday men and everyday women, you know, that can encourage their men to get in touch with their feelings a little bit more, and, you know, what sort of things are coming up for you guys?
Well, I'll quickly jump in and then Greg can jump in some more.
Yep.
So we all jumped in. Hey, jumped in. That'd be like a site to LinkedIn. No,
Jumped
I
in.
should carry on. You on jumped in? Wow. It's also
It's like their song, Jump, Jump. It's like the crisscross song.
Crisscross.
Impossible
Yeah,
question.
crisscross.
Bad jokes. So next 6 months, interesting you say that, Pauline. Like, we're trying to just really be consistent in our fatherhood, in our working, in our content. For me personally, it's about trying to be just the best human, you know, and I know that sounds trivial, but how am I doing that? Well, we're building this community, so that means I'm doing a heck of a lot of listening and analysing, self-analysing. We've got this Facebook group called the Dad Cave, which every week we're kind of getting these conversations going around fatherhood, around favourite dinners to cook your wife, you know, around like things that we
I'm going to sign my husband up.
Yeah, true that. Jump in. And it's just like, what does it mean when you have this public profile, and how can you take that mantle and be responsible with it? So it's kind of learning on the fly. But for me, I don't really see like a profitable side of Rad Dads. At a base minimum, I would be happy if Rad Dads never eventuated to anything else than what it is today. And also, again, we've already won because we get to leave a catalogue of who we are for our children.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
cool.
I let go, and I know it sounds cheesy and whatever, but for me, it's like my day job fulfills me. I'm fine, and then the rest of my time is like trying to work out how I can be a good husband and whatever. And the day job pays the rent. So Rad Dads really is just a labour of love. And if people want to take it and say, oh man, that was really needed in society, that's awesome. But I'm not putting that pressure on us. It's just like, the world's got 101 problems, and if they can just, jump into our content and see two people trying to keep it real, that might not make a change, and if it does, that's good. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's this whole world of social media, and, I read an article that talked about things are 20% more likely to get retweeted if they have some type of confrontational language. And I'm like, that sucks, and it makes me want to. But at the same time, if all the people who just want to speak real and don't want to clickbait don't go on, then, we might as well just abandon the whole social media. But the kids are. So I'm like, in my own little way, fighting for, just regular people. And today I sent 2 emails out to virtual people that I've never met to try and make a connection for Rad Dads, and it's like I got one response and it seemed natural and normal, and it's it's like the closer you try and look at this stuff, the blurrier it gets. So for us, it's like, just keep it third person, keep doing what feels right. I get to hang out with my mate, we get to talk about fatherhood, and that's kind of, I don't know if that answers your question. We should go back to jumped in, because that was a good topic.
But I mean, and also, I guess to follow that up, it doesn't, and I wholeheartedly agree 100% with everything that Will said. It doesn't preclude us from wanting to understand the value that we can offer, both from a community perspective and also from a business perspective, because if the opportunity arose for us to be able to take this to the next level, of course we would consider it, and we would be really interested to see how we could magnify and grow this authentically. And I think that's the key element, is the second that the business plan takes away from the intent, we're in trouble, because we know that that's not a sustainable business model long term. Content and consistency of content is really, really important. And in I guess in leveraging that muscle or building that muscle, I think we then begin to understand what value we have to offer first. And I think that's for both of us, that's a business principle that we both live by. We're not ever going to get into a situation unless we have an authentic belief that we actually have some value to offer whoever it is that we're engaging in some sort of relationship with. I mean, it's really too easy to go out into the world with hands open going, gimme, 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 gimme. And then you're sort of trying to figure it out and make it up on the fly in terms of how, in fact, am I going to quantify this investment of this person in me in some sort of real return. And I think it's a really, really hard and frustrating position to take. But I think the idea that we wouldn't ever go to market with something or engage someone in a commercial relationship without being really, really clear about what we actually have to offer, and not only what we have to offer on paper, but what we believe we can do for that brand. If we can't stand on that, then we're as good as dead in terms of anything further down the track. So yeah, I think for us it's consistency, learn more about ourselves, and kind of just see where this crazy journey takes us.
So do you think those are cool tips for like people who are trying to get consistent with their content and what they stand for? Like you guys are really clear about, the listen, the act, and the speak with intent. That was good, I listened, so I know to repeat it back. But but what are your top 3 tips to give our audience tonight who and maybe are doubting, or just what would you want to say to them around content particularly, maybe?
It's a really blurry line, like content, real life, and all this stuff. It does get blurry, and I understand where most people, well, a lot of people, including everyone, you can self-doubt yourself. You're trying to work out, this will be captured forever. I've read an article, they're talking about I have to be, happy or whatever. It's just like congratulations for watching this show, for example, and being open to this type of content, because you could be watching Married at First Sight. Shout out to that show.
Shout out to the replay later, Will.
It's just clashing with this live event, but that's fine. But look, it's like that show is created to take your mind off what we're doing right now, which is to critically analyze what you care about, how to turn that around into something that's entertainment or educational, and then like ultimately get paid for that. If you can nail those things, you are onto a winner. But what Greg said earlier, it's like you're the person at the bottom under a helicopter trying to catch a rugby ball. It's incredibly hard, and there's gusts of wind, and there's live cameras on you, and you won't probably do it.
Did you catch the rugby ball?
No, I didn't even touch it. And that was the most ironic thing. It's like I didn't even touch it, and it was kind of, I was let down. But Greg said, "Hey man, we already won. We're cool." And we'll have another
you enjoyed the journey, right? It's about the journey to get, and the ironic thing is you didn't touch the frickin' thing.
I mean, not to jump on too much of fanboy sort of statements of other influences that are out there, but I'm not even going to say that. You gotta
spell it out. Let's charades.
But you have to love the game. You know,
totally. There is a game.
I think, you know, as kids we grow. I mean, my kids are into BMX. We race all the time. My boy and my two, I got 4 kids, but my 2 oldest believe wholeheartedly that they will be able to make that all the way to the Olympics.
Wow.
And who am I to stymie that dream? And there's a very good chance that they might, but there's a 10 times bigger chance that they won't.
Yeah.
But does it mean that the training and the discipline and the love of the game negates any of the time that they invest in it? No, it doesn't, because ultimately, if you step back far enough, and for me, I've got to a point where this sort of relationship with this sort of stuff and making content, ultimately, it trains other muscles in my broader life.
Yeah, totally.
The goal is always the Olympics. Of course the goal is the Olympics, because who wouldn't want to get paid to do what they love? But don't ever underestimate, or don't ever take too micro a view of what you're doing, and realizing that actually the habit of being able to articulate your story and who you are regularly in front of a camera, it doesn't matter what you do and what other part of the world that you exist in, that is only going to have a positive effect. And there are so many elements to being concise and being able to construct content that makes you a far better asset to wherever else that it is that you're working. So for me, it's just love the game when it's hard and when it's tough. Fall in love with the game over and over and over and over again.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
And again, you might be the 1% that makes the Olympics, and man, we are all behind you if you do. But you might not ever make it, and be okay with that, because it's not about the Olympics. It's about
of course not. Yeah,
what you do.
I mean, I think that's the other important thing that you said, you know, talking about another influencer. What you guys are doing is producing a lot of content. You're getting quite well known now. How are you navigating and being humble in that process? Because I know it's such a fine line to feel like, oh yeah, I've been on TV, I'm a little famous, you know, someone give me some
How are you
water.
guys again? I can't remember.
You know, how do you keep... You know, how do you not fall into that trap? Because you watch other people and you see, man, that's just not how I would do it. How do you keep both yourselves?
But also, like, how do you not like sit there with like, hey, this pen I'm using or this lipstick I'm using is from, you know, like, are people trying to throw their shit at you to like, you know, brand it?
Short answer, no. We're not getting shit thrown at us, but
yeah, I'll make a start.
the day after the Guinness World Record attempt, I did have a door-to-door salesman come to my door, and I 100% have no belief that he actually meant what he said. But he said to me, "Are you on TV or something?" And the look on his face when I turned around and said, "Oh, actually I was." He went, and he was trying to use some sort of flattery technique to try and get the sale, which was kind of funny, because it was that kind of, no, you don't actually mean that. I can see exactly what's happening here.
Yeah.
But I think for me at least, purpose is, and the reason that we do what we do is the most grounding thing. And at the end of the day, this is a byproduct. I tell you what will keep you grounded: coming home to 4 kids in the afternoon who want their dad and want them to be able to do the things that they want to do. It's like, you ain't got no worries about getting too caught up in whatever else is happening, because they'll bring you well back down to earth.
Yeah.
They'll tell you the exact truth about what you think, so what they think about you, and that's the level of. But again, I just think we're not, and it's really hard not to sound a bit silly when you say it, but it's not. We have a genuine belief that our work and our job will be done the second, and we've started to see it in the community, and I can't tell you how awesome it is when we are the ones not driving the conversation.
Yeah.
And we see guys being able to step into the platforms and in the spaces that we've created, and they begin to talk amongst themselves. We're like, that's job done. I could not care less about how many people will recognise Will or I in the street,
Yeah.
but I care immensely about the dad that lost his wife to cancer and wanted dudes to take pictures of their beards so that he could get through being able to make the first birthday cake.
It's amazing. Stop it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And for me, there's just absolutely no comparison. And I know it's the same for Will. And I think we are incredibly fortunate that that is the community that we exist in. And I have the utmost respect for each and every one of the dads that gets beyond the social construct of what a dude is supposed to say and not say, and actually begins to care about himself enough to engage other dads in being okay with who he is.
Hey, but big ups to you guys for like creating that space. Do you know what I mean? Like that's huge, and I think the fact that you guys are so humble about it and just like, yeah, this is what we do. Like it's cool. I feel so honoured to have met you.
You know, like I'm watching Pauline and what you do with the content lab, and I'm trying to recreate my own. I'm not like ripping your questions. Am I?
You can. It's all right.
On the content lab. No. But it's like I think there's a certain amount of grass is greener on the other side, you know, and we all fall guilty because we have to show the good side of how things roll online, and you know, it's like when you get a good week and you get some subscribers and followers, it's you use that, you know, like we've had conversations where we talk about the 2,500 dads that we've got following us, and you know, it's not that 2,500 dads like each post, but you know, we're just there's always somewhere in the middle, and I don't know if it would change if there was 1 million following or 2 million, and that's why it's like when you look at the big creators, I'm sure they feel like they haven't cracked it. You know, they're just as busy, they're just trying to do all their things, and I don't know, for me it's like it's that moral compass of what we're trying to do. So if we're on breakfast, I'm not that worried because it's exactly the same as here. We're just trying to do what we do in a live environment. You know? If anything, I'm more worried about the dads calling me out for being someone different on telly.
Yes,
and
totally.
That was exactly how it was with Bill English, you know, like there was Stuff had told me, the website Stuff, who we were making it for at the time, said, can you not wear your hat because, you know, it's the Prime Minister and we don't want to embarrass him. And I said, well, what am I going to do with all the dads who know me wearing it?
Yeah.
So they said, well, I don't know. And I said, can I ask him? I'll ask the Prime Minister if I can wear it. And if he says no, then I won't wear it. And I asked him, and he said, I don't care, wear your hat.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome, you know.
That's
but
awesome.
That's probably a piece of advice that I'd give is like, actually ask for what you want and what you think people will say no to, because maybe they won't. Maybe they'll let you wear your hat with the leader of our country. That's a possible question.
Well, he's pretty cool, Bill.
Yeah.
And I loved the fact that he talked about his family, because that was really the first time he'd talked about being a dad. So that was kind of a pivotal sort of motion.
It was kind of like interesting because when the whole thing came up with everyone bombarding Jacinda with questions before we all knew she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And everyone was saying, well, no one asked me about it. And I looked at Greg and I said, bro, we've been asking.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who don't follow a narrative of, you know, jumping on teams. It's just like, I hope we want to really follow people like we all are, who are just interested in everyone winning. You know, it's like we all need each other. You know, because if it's just one team winning, no team wins. You know, it's like
that's that whole thing. It's like you can't need it too. Because let's be honest, how ridiculous is the world in which you can have cake but not eat it? It's just stupid. It's nonsensical. Why would you even have a cake in the first place?
That's right. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been A huge honour to have you both on our show.
You guys were shocking on the show. I can't believe how
And we probably
so
could have-
badly behaved.
And we probably could have talked for ages. So, I know I always love chatting to Will, and I want to, once again, thank you. And for
thank
the
you for your
guys
time.
that are watching our show, go check out Rad Dads. Go check out Rad Dads. And also, it is called, what is it called? The group is called what, Will?
The Dad Cave.
The Dad Cave. So go check out the Dad Cave under groups. Always when you're looking on Facebook, if you're searching, make sure you check the groups button so it comes up in the search so you can find their page. Or jump onto their Rad Dads page and you will find their groups on the side, I am sure. So,
Can we try and do a virtual high five? Can we all see if we can virtually, seriously, you guys are awesome. Just
And can we virtually hat tip to you both for being able to be brave enough to get out there and do it as well. We know it's a crazy, crazy, crazy world that we're trying to navigate. So, hat tip, the ultimate.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Pauline, I'm looking forward to seeing your tiny house. I'm tracking your thing on social media.
She's actually not allowed a tiny house, Will. This is the whole thing. She's being naughty. She's not.
I'm getting a tiny
asked me
house.
to
I'm so
tell-
excited.
To get her to stop this project. It's this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking.
Let's
tiny
not
house.
tell Nat, but today I ordered my trailer.
Did you?
I'm so excited. Anyway, but thanks guys for joining us,
Thank
and
you.
for everyone else who
Nice
jumped
to meet
in
you.
on the show.
Bye for now.
Thanks for joining us, and check us out next week, same time, same place.
It's our last show next week for a little while. Don't
Yeah,
cry.
we are taking a bit of a break, so only because I'm sort of leaving the country for a little while. But then once I'm back, we're going to start up again, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we'll do a second season. So we're doing seasons
Oh,
because
yes.
we're like,
We're so on trend seasons.
yeah, we're doing seasons. So the second season's going to be very exciting.
So we'd love to know what you guys want to have us chat about, who you'd like to see on the show, if you think you want to be on the show. We're really open to what kind of content do you want us to share, what kind of trainings do you want us to show you. We really want to be able to make sure that you guys are getting what you want from it. So have a think and private message or jump on the replay and put out what.
That's right.
Do that.
So thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Conida. Man, they are so